Drink with a group of friends. You want to avoid drinking alone or drinking with people that you don't know too well. Because when you're with people that you do know, such as your friends, you can have their back and they'll have yours. Know your limits, especially if it's your first time out drinking. You don't want to be overwhelmed by social pressures from your friends, and you want to be able to learn what your tolerance is and to be responsible. You want to know how you and your friends are getting home. You want to never drive under the influence, and you want to avoid getting in the car with someone who has been drinking. Know how you and your friends are getting home. You always want to have a plan and a backup plan. Under no circumstances is it acceptable to drink and drive. Also, you want to avoid getting in a car when the driver has been drinking. Alright, make sure you always follow the law. The legal drinking age is 19. Using a fake ID could lead to serious legal repercussions. Also, when you break the law, it's not responsible. Do not drink if you're not in your positive state of mind. You never want to use drinking or drugs as a way to deal with problems. You want to avoid drinking on an empty stomach. You always want to make sure that you ate something before you go out drinking. And by this, I mean more than a bag of chips. You actually want to eat a meal. You always want to check before mixing your prescription medications with alcohol. It could become a lethal situation. You want to avoid drinking if you hadn't had enough sleep. Your friends can understand if their party can wait one more night so you've had sufficient sleep. You want to stay hydrated if you've been drinking. A ratio of 1:1 is the best policy. Plus, water's cheaper. You want to avoid drinking games. Games like Flip Cup and Beer Pong encourage binge drinking, and also, you're going to make friends that you'll probably never remember. When you're out, you want to know your surroundings. If you're at a house party, you really want to know where the bathrooms and stuff are. And if you're out at like a bar or something, you want to know where the nearest exits are, because you always want to have a plan. When you're out, you want to avoid peer pressure. You're there to have fun and not to show off. Your friends will understand when no means no. Know when to call it a night. If you vomit, stop drinking. This is your body's way of telling you it's had enough. You really need your health to come first. Do not make any sexual choice when you've been drinking. Being under the influence voids the right to give consent. You can save your smooth talking for when they're sober. Alright, so you want to create a buddy system. Even if it's just with one other person in your group, you want to make sure at least one person that you're going out with has your back. But you want to be careful not to always abuse the buddy system, because then you could turn into always being that guy or being that girl.